everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today we're working on this pattern right here. On Wednesday I quilted it up on the long arm, and then I showed you the example when I had this pattern that was already cut out, that was already been quilted up with beautiful feathers, and this is how it turned out. I love it. And I did put my pocket, like I said, I had a bit of extra because this was just a big strip of fabric that I put on the long arm and quilted up. And of course you can do the same thing with your domestic, just cross hatching, swirls, whatever you want. I'm sure you can, or follow a pattern that you really like. Okay, so this is how it really turned out. I loved it. Love, love, love. So here's my pocket. It has a quilted fabric on the inside, and it's nice and deep. I thought about putting a little snap closure there, or even just a bit of Velcro. And I just folded it over. Folded it over, and then folded it over again. So I had that nice little white band. Matches the inside perfectly. And then this some of the stuff that I have had left over from the piecing of it, because I wanted to make sure it kind of had some shape as I was trying to show you. So the only thing I would suggest is either ziggity-zagging or the raw edges from the quilted fabric, or having a serger. Just serge it through if you can, because I was noticing this was getting a little, or you can bind. You can go ahead and put binding all the way around, or do a blanket stitch if you want. I mean, there's many different varieties of what you can do to finish this off. So, you know, it didn't say anything in the instructions, so that's kind of gets up to you. So anyways, it was pretty easy to put together, and we're going to do that today. Okay. So first I'd like to thank Claudette, because this was what inspired me to pretty much make this particular bag in this fabric. This is the inside of what was on my purple squares, and I love it. I just fell in love with it. As soon as I saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, I gotta make something out of that. And she sent quite a bit. So thank you very much, Claudette. And I hope you like what I did with some of it. Now I got a whole lot more still to play with. Okay. So what we have here, we'll put that on the side there, is our pattern, and I've laid my quilted fabric out. I feel like everything's falling here. I laid my quilted fabric out on the fold, okay? Because there you can see my fold is right there. And I notched out where it needed to be in these little special spots. And now I'm just going to make sure I trim up this last little side here with my sharp scissors. There we go. And then, like I said, that was our inside and outside, or inside and outside. I mean, it's completely up to you which way you want to make it, right? It's all up to you. Okay, I did make my handles already. The pattern piece was 3 inches long. Okay, so instead of using this on a fold, like it says right here, I cut 3-inch strips, and I cut 4 out of my normal 44 width of fabric, and then, you know, pieced them together on the 45, and that's how I came up with my handle length. Okay, so I thought, I measured it up. I'm like, oh well, there's 3 inches, so I don't really need to use that, right? But I ended up cutting it by accident. Thank goodness for tape. All right, so it also has little tabs, these little tabs right here, but for some reason I lost that little piece of the pattern. So we may leave those out, or I'll add something, so we'll see. Whoops, it happens. Okay. So what we need to do is, now that we finished doing that, we take the pins out, or whatever, there's a couple steps we need to do. We need to finish the band, okay, or the handle. So what I did is I folded the fabric over 1 inch, and then had this over a 1/4 inch, and then lined them up in the center, and then they want you to do a nice straight stitch right down the middle. So then when you go to attach it to the side of the bag, you're going to put another stitch here and a stitch here. And I did that as a very decorative stitch on this bag, okay? I just did a nice little, one of my favorite stitches I love to do on binding. If I have to stitch the binding, I love doing this stitch. So I did that, and of course it asks you to reinforce the tops to make sure they're going to be nice and sturdy. Depending, you can put your bowling ball in here and your shoes and stuff like that. I thought I'd make a great baby bag too. You know what, a little bit great baby travel bag, that's an awesome size. And then you can have easy access to, you know, whatever there, or put another pocket there, put a pocket here, there. I mean, this is totally adaptable. So yeah, I put some decorative stitches on there, and that's how I stitched it down. So I have black in the bottom and variegated purple on the top, and that's how I'm going to stitch this band really just quickly together here, so you can see how it goes. So this may take a little while, so I appreciate you sticking it out to the end. It was my zipper that fell on the floor. Now, I didn't go out and get coordinating or matching zippers. I have a box of like 25 of these tan ones, so I figured I'm just using those. I'm sure it won't break the whole style of the bag if I used a tan zipper, so at least I don't think so. I hope not. But I'm sure a nice black one or a silver one would have been, you know, prettier, but I'm using what I have. And as you can see, I've been making some major amount of progress on my Lone Star. I got caught up on the Humboldt quilts while the boys were, well, they were supposed to be away, but nonetheless, road got washed out, and big long story nonetheless. So that didn't quite happen for them, but nonetheless, I made some progress on getting some stuff done, and I was having so much fun I didn't realize I had almost all of them done before I had the last two like laid out to sew, and I thought, oh, wait a second, I better stop. So we do have lots of work to do tomorrow though. We're gonna need to do our triangles and then our corner pieces, and then we're obviously gonna sew it all together. So I've got 6 out of the 8 done. And those little ones up there, they're already pinned together, ready to go. Rows are pinned. So we'll just be starting to shoot the live stream tomorrow and just going for it. Just getting her done. Looking forward to it. It's one of my, actually, been one of the ones I really have been looking forward to doing and seeing the outcome of it, you know. Especially when I've always had someone in mind for it right from the get-go, as soon as I said we were doing the purple. So. And of course, I'm trying to, you know, keep in the theme of thing of wearing my purples today. All right. So this is a very much an adjustable strap. Honest, like I was showing Pop, and I said, you know what, a little longer, and that would make a great over-the-shoulder bag, you know what I mean, instead of just being like a little duffel bag. So there's many adaptations you can do. Maybe you're long torsoed or short torsoed, and you know, this is a great way to adjust a bag to you, exactly to fit you, right? You know, and even it's good one if you had to use it as a backpack. Slip your arms through each handle and off you go. You don't have to put it here or carry it here. It's as a little backpack and away you rock. Make the bag adaptable, right? We're almost there. We're almost around the bend. And I found the easiest thing to do to get the proper placement to where this was supposed to lie on here, as I just put a pin under here and a pin under here and then onto the other side, and then just try to line this up right in between the pins. It seemed to be the best idea. You could certainly chalk it out or put other registration marks down to make sure you were bang on or whatever. It's completely up to you. It's a fun little quick bag, and it was nice to have some fun with the long arms starting it off. But you can, if you find a big chunk of pre-quilted fabric at your fabric store for sale, grab it. This will make a good duffel bag for it. And that'll make a good duffel bag, or even back to a baby quilt. You know. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's all done. That's sewn all the way around. Okay, and I think I did make this strap just a little longer. No, actually, I think it was about the same size. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of pins here. And well, I could have just grabbed these, but whatever. Can't have a shortage of pins. Okay, and I'm just going to make a little finger note of where that is. So I'm going to fold the little fat pattern back, put my pin from I'm going to kind of start it off where I want it to start and then come up where I want it to end in that sort of section, you know what I mean? So I know between those little bits, I gotta put my band, okay? So did that go to the other side? No, it did not. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same over to here, on this side right here. And after that, it's quite easy. You make a few dots. There's dots on each corner, and right here on the top side, or to match up to the top side, because that's where this corner meets up here. These two dots right there, they end up meeting up. And then there's a few notch up at the top. But that's to add that little flappy piece if you wanted it. And I'm sure I will find it as soon as we're done shooting the video. Because I've already looked for 20 minutes before. All right, so I'm folding that back on the little line. Now trying to line up with my pin is in reference, pin right there. Okay, oops, right here. Now, take this and just do a little flip. Try not to lose any of your pins. Okay, and then line it up again and do the same thing. That way you get a pretty accurate of where you want this going on, okay? So line up some notches, a little corner piece, fold back, pin down, over here, pin down, and that's where we're going to aim to put those little bits, okay? Now, it wants you putting that little seam that you just did. Of course, I got the variegated on. It'll now go down to the bottom, but that's okay. It wants you to put that facing down, okay? Make sure you have a nice continuous strip. Okay. Put it in those two spots. And then I just held it this way, like as a little cross underneath, with the pins, just so I can get a better understanding of where it needed to be, and then I folded it all the way out, okay? Like this, okay? And then, okay, now you want to make sure you're trying to get as even as possible on both sides, okay? You don't want one handle longer than the other. Okay, that comes here and that comes to there. And make sure you don't have any twists or turns. Okay, there. Make sure you kind of have equal portions on both sides. Do a little pin. That's why I didn't put too many pins in at first, because I realized I had to take them out and then readjust. And I'm like, all right, let's just do this a little bit more time conscious wise. Okay, so now once those two pins were in there, I kind of went like this and held it up to each other, and I thought, okay, that looks pretty good. I mean, if you want to get all technical and measure everything, that's completely up to you. I thought, okay, the handles come together. If I felt they needed to be adjusted, then I would adjust it from there. So I think that looks okay. What's up? It's twisted, is it? How is it twisted? Oh, well, silly. Munchkin's helping today. Thanks, Munchkin. All right, now just put some pins in, and then you're going to do your decorative stitch on either side, okay? And then we'll go and mark these little corner bits here where the dots that we need to with the chalk or a little pencil, because we can just rub that out. Okay. I think I'll just use a straight stitch, because sometimes a decorative stitch takes a little bit longer. But I think a straight stitch will be fine. I could use purple. The reason why I grabbed black is to try and pull a little bit, or it's actually a blacky gray, pull a little bit of the inside of the bag out, sort of, per se. You know what I mean? So there was a little bit of, you know, kind of color or fun color in between. Okay, so here we go. All right. And now start just after your pin. Keep that in place. I always found it was very handy. Okay, and then do a little back stitch. And then make sure you're taking your pins out as you go. Okay, try not to poke yourself. I know sometimes it's impossible. I thought of doing a purple pieced one, like all scrappy bits, and I thought, oh, maybe that's just too much, you know. maybe it won't look good if it's not lining up with each square and its own, you know what I mean? So I thought, okay, no, just nice. Keep it neutral. Use this smoky black sort of thing, or smoky gray. Wasn't too much, it was just a chunk. So it was enough to get at least the band done and little tabs if I could have found the pattern. Hope you like my new desk. Since the boys were very busy working on it last weekend, since they didn't end up going, or didn't end up, you know, going for their boys' weekend, so they made me this monstrosity desk, and I love it. Got so much room and so much to put underneath my patterns and my bits and bobs and my knickknacks. It's all tucked under, and not having to move so much for, you know, shooting the weekend project or the long arm Wednesday, because, you know, I'm shoving things in corners and piling stuff on top of each other. You know how it is. Yeah, so I have everything kind of tucked up under here, and an extra shelf for Kleenex and my knickknacks and buttons, and I still got my little bowl right here. I needed the poly though. I had a wasp thing. It made my arm swell really, really big. So I still have my bucket that I'm keeping my half square triangles in. You know, still making progress with that. It's almost full. I'm sure by next spring I'll have it jammed full by that point in time. So that stays right there. It's always very nice and handy for me to put down in there. Okay, so now I've come right up to where I need to stop for where the pins were. Now I want you to make a cross for reinforcement. So what I found the easiest thing was to do is to come down just a little bit. I'm coming down maybe an inch and a smidge. Okay, start on the one side, cross up to the other point. Okay, pivot. Sorry, move the poly spool. Okay, and then back, forward, back, lift up, and pivot down to the opposite corner about your inch. And to me, that creates a nice 3 at the top and a nice cross. You don't even have to put the one on the bottom, but that's completely up to you. So I found that really easy to do. That's how I made those stabilizing stitches on that side. Okay, we'll do the same on this side before we forget. Okay, so I did it each one the same way. So if I made any boo-boo or error by trying to go a different way or a different angle, they wouldn't look all the same. So I tried to do them all the same. So back, forward, back, stop, pivot, and then back down. Okay. And I will show you once we get the other ones done as well, okay? All right, so that's that side. Let's work on this side. I try to keep the bulk of my project on my table. Try not to shove everything under here if you don't have to. Like working on this side, I turned it around. There's no point in trying to shove all this in here to work on this side, right? So do a little flipping and flopping, you know, make it comfortable for you. It's not a race. No one's sitting in the back room timing you. If they are, they got problems. You need to find a new hobby. Okay, try to make sure your little handle is nice and straight. I mean, if you wanted to make a fun kids bag and piece it all weavy or wonky or ziggity zag, make it extra, extra long, I think that would be fun. I mean, there's so many different ways you can make. This is the baby bag that goes to grandma's house, you know, or it's the easy bag that's in the back of the car that has the snacks, the extra blanket, the pillow, the water, everything, you know what I mean? Like there's so many uses for this type of bag. Going to the gym, someone said to make a great gym bag, and I'd be like, yeah, fantastic gym bag. Good size, you know. Coming up to where am I? Just between my pins, or just before my pins. All right, and take that out and come down all the way to the top again. So we're getting there. We'll make some marks and then we'll do some bag sewing, and it'll be Easy McPeasy. Actually, I think we'll make the marks, put the zipper on, then sew up the sides. Okay. That's why I thought after all sewn together, doing a zigzag across all those edges, these little raw edges here, or even just doing a nice blanket stitch. You know, taking a nice little floss and turning it inside out or right side out and just do a nice little decorative blanket stitch all the way around, sealing it up, making it nice and pretty. You know, there's many options, right? Okay, so went up from the corner to my straight line. Make sure I'm kind of in line with my other pattern piece over there. I don't want one all the way up here and the one that was way down there. So make sure you're in line, back, forward, back, and of course pushing my back stitch button at the same time as I'm back stitching. So I know some buttons are easier than others. Mine's a little button on the front, some are like a button on the side, or it's like a little lever you got to push, and it can be kind of annoying. All right, we got one more over here, and then I will show you how it turned out. Okay, oops, sorry if it was flipping in your way. Ooh. And back and stop and pivot and turn and chasse and plie. Okay, there we go. So doesn't that look lovely? Okay. And you can't even, well, it's just dark lines on the inside, so, okay. All right, so now what we get to do is we'll do some marking. We'll grab our little marking utensil here. Okay, I see a pencil better. Okay, so now, and there's not a lot. There's like 6 little dots. Okay, so one is right here at the center of this little angle here. So come in. See, that's where I ripped it. I was like, oh, I should have taped it. Okay, put a little pencil mark. Come up here. Here, put a little pencil mark. Okay, and then same with over here. Line it up, put a little pencil mark. Over here, oops, line her up better than that. There, silly girl. Can I see that? I think I see it. All right, now there's 2 at the top here. Okay, come in, make the mark. And this, I thought this would be a good idea to use one of those Northcott panel pieces. Remember those rainbow ones from the boys' charity quilts? I thought that would be a great idea to use because it's almost the same. You can almost add a little black at the top and either corner sort of thing and be able to work. I thought that would be a good idea. Like, whoop, talk about pop of color. Great for a kid's bag. Okay. You know, this could be the Lego bag or the toys to the tub, you know. Emergency snacks in the cupboard. It's the go bag. Okay, I'm not going to see that one for sure. So where is my chalk? Oh, with no lead in it. Or colored thingy. I guess it's not called lead anymore, is it? Yeah, there's no way I was going to see that on that dark purple. Okay, all right. Ooh. Put it over there. Now I think I got all my marks. Here, 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 and there. Okay. Now I put this pattern piece. I'm going to have to tape it up. I'm going to put a line of tape all the way around it because I really like this bag. I think it'd be great gifts for Christmas. Okay. All right. Now what I want you to do. So what we've done is we've sewn down the strap. And now we're going to attach the zipper. We've already done our little markings. It already has it up there. So we're going to attach the zipper. It says Sorry about that, a little tiny technical difficulty with the microphone. So we're back, okay? So we've done our straps, sewn them down, and did our crosses up at the top. And now we get to put on the zipper, okay? So it says pin zipper to opening, right sides together. So this is the right side of the zipper. This is the right side of my fabric. So I'm gonna make sure when I go to, of course, this is really long. Like I said, I discounted zippers. I wasn't buying any. And you can make sure to put it in a place where you're not going to hit the needle on your little metal tab here at the top of the zipper, which stops the zipper, okay? So, but before that, I'm gonna do is a quick zigzag down both these edges, okay, before I add the zipper. Okay, because I found that it was fraying a little bit in the blue one, as you can tell here, and it's also that blue fabric is really frayy in itself, but I thought a nice way to just kind of reinforce this a little bit, do a little tight zigzag. Sorry, let me just shrink it down a little bit to about, 8.5, and just do it real quick, right from edge to edge, okay? It was the only one that kind of bothered me, You could totally, you do the little whip stitch, little, blanket stitch or something like that, or even just run it real quick through a serger if you had a serger. All right. Not everybody has a serger, so that's why I thought this little ziggity zag to help seal up the edge would do a fine job to prevent any frays. And you can always use fray check. Put fray check over it as well. That'll tuck everything in. If you want, do it twice. It's up to you. Okay, so just a quick little zigzag all the way down. The zipper for the blue one does not reach all the way, but this one will reach all the way until Nomi says otherwise. Just ziggity zaggy, I guess. Did I run out of bobbin thread or what happened? That's okay. I'm going to reload it anyways. Probably ran out of top thread. I did! Oh, well, that was the last of the variegated purple. That's sad. That's very sad. Now I need to find some. All right, I have this black here. Oh, it's very disappointing. I was really hoping to use that for the whole project. Blizz. All right, regular black it is. Gotta use what you have. I have to turn my light off. Hold on, now I need my old lady specs to see if I can thread them. Because it was doing a little bit of glare on the small camera, and we want you guys to be able to see exactly what's going on without having any glare on the small camera. So, pardon the old lady specs for a moment while I thread. Okay, there we go. Alright, and I go to, because that is a spooled, might get caught up there, hold on. There we go, that should be all right. Okay, now we'll do the other side. Terrorize everything in the process. Okay, because I rethreaded the top and then I rethreaded the bottom. Maybe I was just going a little too fast. Apparently, I do that. They'll just help keep it in check. If you want to go around the whole project, you could make chalk marks where all the double notches were and stuff like that if you didn't want to if you wanted to, if you had to serge the notches off, you know what I mean? You can always just make a note on the fabric. We're almost there. This is the tedious part. But you can put a spin on it in, couple of different ways. Almost there, almost to the end. And then we'll switch our foot out to the zipper foot and place the right sides of the zipper and the right sides of the fabric together. Okay, stop. Zipper foot is in here. There we go. Pop this one off. Pop this one on. Line it up better. Perfect. All right, now, of course, I have to change mine to zipper mode as well. So I'll just go into there real quick, making sure I'm doing a zipper. And I want to stitch. There we go. Of course, I can switch the sides. So now we put the right sides together. Okay. Okay, we're just going to pin this together, the right sides. All right. Avoiding the metal for the zipper so then your needle head does not hit it. Okay. Just zip that in right there. We'll get these sewn down. Switch to the zipper foot. Everybody's rocking. Now, if I had purple, I'd use purple thread, but I don't have any purple thread. I did get some pretty purple stuff for the long arm when I quilt that one up behind me, though. Okay, so let's pin that there. And we'll line it up visually to see if that's going to be a-okay. One's not off, one's not this way, one's not all the way down here, because we're going to make sure they're stitching together when we put these sides together, right? Okay, so that looks good. We'll continue getting these down here, and then we'll sew. And then from here on out, really, that's the hardest part is that little band and the zipper. You got the rest. You know, do a little clip to the points and match up the notches, and that's it. Okay, there we go. Okay, now I got those two edges sewn with the zipper foot or zipper. Okay, and I've got my zipper foot already on here. Now, hopefully, if everything works right. Whenever there's pins involved, it's always chaos. Okay, so now you want to sew. I'm going to put it in the center this time. I think if I could put it in the center. Can I put it in the center? Nope. Oh, it's only right or left. Okay. Well, I want to stitch close. Okay. Take the pin out, the first one. Move it over just a little bit. Okay, and then stitch on down. And I'm coming right next, you should be able to see with the black thread stitching right next to that zipper. Okay. Okay, and in no time at all, we will have this in. Now be careful when you're coming because I'm stitching on this side and that metal little clasp right there is, I want to make sure I am clearly not even close to it with my needle. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. Okay, see how that's stitched down there? Okay, now we'll do the other side, just doing a little flip. Of course, I got the pins a different way, so I'll take them a moment longer to pull them out as I'm going. It's okay, we got this. Okay, now again, starting off close to that metal clasp. Let's not come too close to it, unless you got replacement needles. Try and keep my zipper in place. Grab that. Okay, almost done. That is the zipper done. All right, okay. Now, see, if we go to zip it up, there we go. That'll be the inside of the bag, okay? And then these just come up like that, all right? So we want to make sure we give ourselves opportunity to put this together and then be able to use it, not zipper it, sew it and zipper it closed, right? Okay. So now it tells you to, Okay, fold bag away from zipper and press top stitch. Okay, so it wants you to fold it this way, and then you top stitch along here. And I'm thinking maybe I'd prefer to use white with that. So I don't know, maybe I should just stick with the black. I've been using the black. All right, stick with the black. Make a decision, move on. Okay, and then just give a little top stitch to keep that all together, okay? So just one more down on either side, okay? Just had to help it get a little started there. And that just helps keep that zipper up in front on the top of the bag. It doesn't want to make it curl under. It makes it nice and, whoop, make sure we're not sewing through the zipper. Nope, missed the spot there though, that's okay. All the way to the end. Okay, it came a little off here, so I'm just going to even that up, and then I'll unpick all the little stitches that I did a little wonky off there later. Okay, all right. But I do want to make sure it looks somewhat finished. All right, next side, real quick. I know it's a long show, and I appreciate you sticking it out. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to sew the rest of this bag together. All the way off. Perfect. Okay. Now we've done that. Okay. On sides of bag, stay stitch on each side of the dots. Okay, so those were these little side dots here. So we're done with the zipper foot. Adios. Back with the regular. Come on, there we go. Back to regular straight stitch. Okay, so on these dots, remember the ones that were on the side, and I said we're gonna have to line those up. Okay, there should be a white dot here. Right down from the zipper. You need to do a little stay stitch across those right there. Okay, so go an inch before, an inch after. I went the biggest stitch I could, which is a 5.0, crank her all the way up, and then just do like a little, it just helps secure that fabric together. Okay, so where's my dot? Up, down, don't even back stitch, just go like 2 inches, okay? And then find the other one. Do the same. You're going to have 4 of them to do, 2 on either side. Okay, here we go. Okay. And then this side. Where is, oh, there it is. I know I had the white chalk dot there. Okay. And then on this side, there it is. Okay. Just had a moment to find it. Okay, so I just followed the directions, that's what it said. Now, clip to the seam allowance of those dots, okay? So this is what it means. We're gonna have to line this up here, put those little tabs together, and where it has us doing this, that little stay stitching across there, we're actually gonna clip right down to that dot, okay? So take our good scissors, and we take a little clip, or do the little clip. Hold on, gotta find it here again. See, need me old lady eyes. Okay, and we'll do it on both sides. Where is it? There it is. Okay, and this side. Okay, and you're just coming to the line. You're not cutting the line that you just sewed. You're just coming to it. Okay, all right. What it does is just help stabilize the corner, this corner when you're getting it up to here, okay? So once that is done, now we move on to pin the sides matching notches and dots, and pin top edge matching notch to zipper, stitch from bottom of the bag on one side to the top and the other side, pivoting at the dots, repeat for the other side, okay? And that's pretty much, this bag is done, okay? So we're gonna go and from our double notches, all the way down to where our little V meets, okay? And that's where we're gonna hit that other dots when sewing, okay? we're just going to pin that up and pin it right up to the other side here, okay? I'm going to do that to the other side here, okay? Match those notches up. That little spike right down into that little sharp V, okay? Put a couple pins in there. And you'll notice that your top flap is taller than your notch. You want that because you need to be able to sew the other part onto here. You need that little bit of a corner to give it some you know, the next bit to stitch onto, some meat, right? Okay. So let's do the one side and I'll show you. Okay. So I come down just a little bit because I know I'm going to have to meet that somewhere else. Oh, I need a smaller stitch here. I had the big one on there. About a 3.5. All the way down. Oops, I sewed right over that pin. Whoops. Thank goodness it wasn't those moment. Do a little back stitch, okay? And then on the other side, do the same thing. Did I do this right? Hold on. Yes, I'm sure I am. I'm like, I just did one. For Pete's sakes. All right, take that pin out. All the way down. Do a little back. Okay. Hold on. Okay, yep, there. And then this is what comes across the top here to form the top of the inner bag. Okay, see? So there's one little edge right there. Okay, so we'll do this real quick and then you can see. So excited, this part. It's my favorites. It's my favorites parts. It's when things all come together. And you go, wow, I made that. Now, who can I give it to? That's usually me. All right, so matching up our double notches and sewing on down, stopping about a ½ an inch from the edge. Oops, my cutter didn't seem to want to work there on the top there. What is going on? Okay, all the way to about a ½ an inch away. Okay, there we go. All right, see, I can see it coming together a bit. Poke our little corners out. It's the bottom of the bag and the sides. Okay. See? There we go. We're getting there. Okay. Now, it's just a matter of pinning the rest into place. Okay. So we'll flip it back out. We're going to have to zipper up the zipper a little bit to at least halfway. Okay. Making sure things aren't getting twisted. We're not getting threads stuck in there. Because we don't want that. All right, so about a little less than halfway, whatever. So you need to be able to turn it right side out. Make sure your handles are all tucked in. And then that's when you take these two parts, okay, and you're going to match them up with that. That's the middle notch, okay? So you're going to match them up so they sit side by side. Okay, zipper right in the middle, notches right there, and then you just pin. Okay, it's just a matter of a few pins and you'll get it. Okay, so let's just do that. And then I'll show you how it looks. And that's pretty much it. That's all we're going to do. Just going to sew that down. Lining up that edge. Giving it a pin. And then this is what we'll do is we'll just sew right over that because this is not metal at all. This is just plastic, okay? So, and we do realize one side was a little longer, but we're just gonna make sure we're evening it up along the way using this little kind of somewhat of, I have that peak as your center seam sort of thing, right? So put that right in the center of your zipper. Line it up. So one little side gets trimmed a little bit. That's okay. I tried to aim the fabric so it was two ways. I cut it in half so it was when you looked at it, you from the inside, it was you know, kind of looking out at you no matter which way. Okay. All right, so that's what we're just going to sew that right there, and I'll show you what it looks like because you don't need to see me sew it because it's pretty much easy. Okay, there. And there. Isn't that awesome? Beautiful little duffel bag. You know, I love it. The patchwork of this one is awesome. I also love the beautiful solid and the feather on this one as well. Like I'm kind of torn which one is my favorite. And like I said, a little pocket. You can add a pocket or two, add many pockets, just leave it as one, whatever. But there we go. So that's Weekend Project. That is pattern A from 3171 of Quick Sew. All right, so thanks everybody. Thanks for watching and liking and subscribing. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you on tomorrow's live stream when we're working on the Lone Star. Big hugs, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great weekend.